There we go, and we get the right sound there. Okay, then we put out social media links. Do 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 do. I'm live streaming right now. There. Sweet. I don't have a picture to post this on Instagram. Is it even worth putting it on Facebook? Is that even worth anything? Right, everyone. There, I'll do that. Is this thing on? Yeah. I don't even need that anymore. That's the next thing. I'm gonna go on there. Hello. Hi, Grant. How you doing? So glad I found your channel. Your frank honesty has really helped me out of a realistic slant on my very unreal feelings and emotions. Thank you. You're very welcome, Grant. I'm glad I could help. You're the first person here. I've just decided to do a live stream tonight. This is a very impromptu thing. Um, where's the thing I'm looking for? There we go. And I only started a minute ago, so I kind of don't expect anyone to see this. Because that's how these things tend to go. What do you mean waiting for chat? And another Grant. There we go. You're struggling today. What's up? Talk to me. Let's see if we can figure stuff out. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, by the way. I'm just some guy with a camera and YouTube. But hey, yeah, what's up? I have nothing in mind to talk about. We can talk about anything. If there's problems, then let's talk about problems. I honestly don't mind. I've um I've had like I was supposed to do two different live streams tonight and both have fallen through, so I just thought, screw it, I'll do one myself. And also I'm testing an internet connection. So I've just got a new internet. BPD misses, what's up? So you aren't the one with BPD. Hang on, what is this? Sorry, while we're talking, I'm messing with YouTube's interface. Yeah, the favorite person stuff. Oh, it's fucking horrible. I still have stuff. I still have stuff. It bugs me. Bugs the shit out of me now. It's just become annoying. Going I believe that the more you can not see someone, the more it helps. That's my belief. I know that's not always possible. But it's not just a case of not seeing somebody. I think because that makes it difficult, right? Because you might not be able to see. Sorry, I'm coming in closer. I want to lean forward. Like for example, my FP was my ex, and we share a dog. I have to see her. There was no way I could cut her out just for the sake of dealing with some favorite person stuff. I had to deal with it in a multi-pronged attack. I'm gonna sit, but I'm not comfortable. Maybe I need a better chair for these. um, and a lapel mic. What was I saying? Yeah, so you might have people you can't or don't want to cut out of your life. You know, it's a big extreme move. And I think that just as important as reducing contact with a person as much as I could, as much as was reasonable, or to a reasonable level, I think. Um, I also had to work on me. It was much more to do with me than anything else, and it was doing stuff like that that um that helped me get over it. Right. So what did I do? It came up with. It's all about living for yourself, because at the moment when you've got a favorite person, you're living for them, right? You're trying to be whatever it is that you think they might want you to be, or everything like that. And you also have like things have less meaning if they aren't involved and that kind of thing. And you have to work on, that's the thing you have to work on getting rid of, living for you, doing things because you want to do them. And so I found a band to play with. I started seeing my friends a lot more. I I started seeing someone else, um, as well, which is always a massive help when you have a relationship going. But you know, the favorite person stuff caused problems in that new relationship because I was totally caught up in shit. When I take my glasses off, but my eyes look very red. I have an eye virus, by the way. That's a little bit, just so you know. Um, and so I had to start doing stuff because I wanted to do it. And that took time to figure out what that stuff was and what I wanted to do and what I enjoyed and liked and so on and so on. And it's not about it's not about cutting yourself off from the world. It's not about not sharing your life with a person, because you know that's a rewarding part of having a relationship with someone. It's it's about just getting the balance right and doing things that you want to do. It's it's a journey of self-discovery, it really is. um let's see, we just split and it's been so toxic. I just cut out total contact today. I'm thinking I might have a whole pile of shit coming my way. I mean, that's not cutting off contact though, is it? If you've got shit coming your way, or do you just mean like emotionally? All right, hang on, I'm in two different, sorry, I'm getting confused here. Do you know what, we're in a conversation here with three people and two of them are called Grant. Just so you know, that's what's happening here. We just split and it's been so toxic I cut out total. Yeah, it's horrible. It's it's horrible. Um I'm still feeling the pain of that last breakup. It stays with you for so long. Um and just adjusting to the adjustment that I think you have to make is that you have to sort of realize that what was it? This ideal favorite person image that I had in my mind of the person wasn't the person that was there. And so the person that I wanted to share things with didn't really exist. Um, yeah, I think there's sort of two similar problems going on at the same time here. Um, yeah, relationships are difficult. I thought I'm still adjusting to the fact. Well, I'm adjusting to a lot of facts, really. I don't know if it's a BPD thing that I'm slow to accept change, that I'm slow to adjust to change and be comfortable with the new way of life. because it's taking me a long time to adjust. I, it's all very odd. It's all very odd. Like it's things like I'm not sure, like how at home I feel here. Like I don't know how much I've adjusted to not living where I used to live, and it's been like 3 years now, which is insane. I should be used to this now. Like I live here, this is fine, and it's I don't want to go back to where I was. I couldn't, and I've not quite adjusted to it yet. I still feel like I could just slip into my old life again very easily, which is weird because I'm horrified at the thought of it. You know. Um. Hi Jade, thank you for joining in. Yeah, few low we diluted the grants a little bit. Where was I? Favorite person stuff and BPD X's and that sort of thing. Yeah. See, I've never been with someone else with BPD. I don't know what that's like. I only know what I was like. And I'm very different now to what I was like in my last relationship. So it's all very odd. It's all an odd thing, and it's all very weird to me. It still, I'm still adjusting to a lot of things because life changed a lot, and it needed to because life was horrible. Um, and there's a lot of self discovery still going on. It's a long journey. It's a long journey. I had my sort of return therapy session this week. That was the thing that happened. So when you finish therapy, you leave, and then there's sort of 8 to 10 weeks gap, and then you go back and you see the therapist on your own for an hour. And that happened this week. And then they sort of decide, are you definitely done with group, or are you leaving it? And it went great. It was very emotional more than anything because you realize you're sort of talking to people who, as part of their job, just saved your life. Those therapists were amazing. And I cannot thank them enough because before I got to that therapy, I was just pure suicidal ideation. I didn't want to go on with stuff. I didn't think there was a way to get help. Um, and then when you finally get it and it changes your life as significantly as this, and you guys have been with me for a lot of it, to be honest, it feels like, this channel always feels like a fairly recent thing, but it's not. What are you saying? It's our condition to live with. She's so broken and needs help, but strikes out at me like I'm the one who caused all her trauma, and I was starting to be tainted with the scars of her past. People need help, and I think until people get help, then what can we expect of them? Of course, they're going to behave in ways that we find distressing and upsetting. They need help. Imagine. I try and imagine it like a person who has these things that is untreated is like, just imagine your arm was broken and you were trying to go about your day with a bone sticking out of your skin or something gross like that. That's what it's like, just in mental health form. And it's like, can you imagine, like, you're living with someone who's got a broken arm and they're screaming in pain, and we get upset that they're so noisy, and it's really difficult. And it's the tragic and difficult thing is that help needs to be available, and I don't think there's really any way where it is really readily available. I was so lucky that I chanced onto the group when I did and got the help that I could get. And I know that it's difficult now. It's going to be more difficult now than it was when I started, and it's going to be even more difficult in other countries. And I think it's fucking horrible what people have to go through. If it was a physical injury, then something would be done pretty fucking quick. Um, yeah, the switching, the splitting. I still do that, and I do that on my partner, and I haven't done it for a while. I can't remember the last time I did it, but it would be something would happen, right? I would just sort of not hate her. I never had that extreme of feeling, but she would become an annoyance to me, one way or another, and it would sort of build up very quickly, and I'd be split. And again, she doesn't have to do anything. She's never done a thing I could point to and say that thing was horrible or drives me nuts or whatever. She's lovely, right? She's wonderful, and anything that I pick up is just mine. Um, and so I would just sort of build up and builds up until I just sort of don't like her. Don't want to. Will she go? I need her out of my space, or me out of her space, or whatever. And sort of a year ago, when I was splitting and in the depths of some favorite person stuff, it went as far as breaking up with her. Um, because I reached a point where I was totally broken up over my favorite person, and I was totally just unable to handle anything else, and I split and needed to just I couldn't be in the relationship. And I am and spent 3 months in sort of full on breakdown mode until I managed to come to my senses, get past the favorite person stuff, um, deal with all that. And then I was very lucky that she spoke to me again. Very lucky. Um, and it took a lot of trust rebuilding and that sort of thing, and maybe there's still more to go. I don't know. It's not like I'm going anywhere. um but it was a trying time, and it was all from splitting and from favorite person stuff, and that was the last really bad time, I think, which was a year ago. And that was brought on by extremes of things. I think that my what actually precipitated it was my ex started dating, and I just panicked at that. I don't know why I panicked at that. um I managed to convince myself that I wanted to get back together with her and that sort of thing. And even though, no, I didn't, not at all. uh wouldn't, couldn't, the thought is horrifying. um but yeah, I went into this full on breakdown mode. It was horrid, absolutely horrid, and that lasted about 3 months. That was the last bad time, and I look forward to being no more times like that. It was a weird time because you convince yourself that there's this wonderful, perfect relationship, and it wasn't. Happy relationships don't end. Um, and I idealized her. I idealized the entire relationship, romanticized all of it, and just believed my own bullshit and got caught up in it. Um, and it was so jarring, and of course, none of it like real or anything like that. Just all in my own head, just whatever. What you just described there is exactly where I've been for the last couple of months, absolutely to a T. That's it. We go through it. It's shit. It's really shit. Um, but like I say, I was very lucky that she spoke to me again and took me back, and she understood what was happening, and that was very good of her, to say the least. I am very pleased she did, and things have been wonderful ever since. And that might have been the last big split, actually. Um, there's been no irritation or anything like that. We've just basically lived together for the last 2 months, um, and it's been fine. We don't argue, we don't fall out, we don't uh behave in a toxic way to each other. It's just such a different world from what I'm used to, from what things used to be like day to day. And it feels weird to miss those days, but because I know that a lot of it was unhappiness, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and it takes a long time to readjust, to get over things and move on and do stuff. And because I always feel like I'm in a constant uphill struggle, I'm always trying to do more stuff and achieve more or whatever. Achieve anything. Achieving more makes it sound like I feel I've achieved something, which is just not true. Um, the idea is to make enough money to live off from doing early morning barking in all its various forms. And so there's this constant, gotta keep going, gotta keep going. That's not enough. That's not enough. I'm getting wound up with stuff. I'm getting frustrated with things and trying new things, and it's a lot. It's a lot. But I do think things have been going better. Excuse me, drinking. This is live streams for you. Sorry, I'm waiting for my girlfriend to arrive at home because she's just driven home. What's Jade saying? I'm in a bit of a pickle in regards to therapy. I understand the role that therapists fill, but I was raised by a therapist, and I think that's forever tainted my ability to see them. ... Thanks, Grant. Yeah, things are going okay. Different elements of life are doing better than others, as is usually the case in life. Um, but a few things are going really well. A few things make me really happy, so that's good. That's good. God, I'm gonna start playing with my hair during live streams. I nearly did this live stream on TikTok actually, but I didn't have my little lapel mic for my iPhone with me, so I couldn't be bothered. Because it would have meant getting up. But I've got to do a live TikTok soon. TikTok's been going really well. I'm bringing it up now. Let's have a look at TikTok, because I'm sick of being on camera, to be perfectly honest with you. That's where we are with this. Oh, hang on. Now I'm getting lots of conversation through. Right, okay. I hope she's okay. Right, so Grant's. I hope she's okay, but I can't carry on with the on off love. 1 minute, I'm amazing that she's using all my revealed insecurities to hurt me. She partners with BPD partners / ex partners seek help. I honestly think everybody should have therapy. If you can get therapy, get therapy. If you've been going through a traumatic and difficult time, it's not going to hurt you to talk to somebody about it. Really, I think the beauty of all of it, of therapy, is that, look, it's not like we're suggesting an invasive and otherwise harmful treatment, right? We're talking about talking to people. So should you try it? Yeah, absolutely. Of course you should try it if you can try it. Hell yeah, definitely. Back to Jade. My mother. Right, hang on. I I was raised by a therapist, and I think that's forever tainted my ability to see them. My mother, well, she raised me well and gave me good values and all of that, but due to her being used to the extremes of mental illness, it just meant that she didn't help and brushed off the early stages I see of my mental shed. And so it's just hard to get the hard release vitriol over run out of my system. Yeah, I understand. Um, it's difficult to get over the influences of a parent. I've been there. Um, you know, I have I think I have a BPD parent, right? At the very least, I think that's where it comes from. I think that parent had a BPD parent. I think that parent had so my grandparent had. I think I had a great grandparent with BPD. I think it went back years and years and years. And I think going back generation to generation, I'm prepared to accept that there's a genetic component involved, but there's also very much an environmental and emotional component involved. And I'm willing to bet that each generation did to the next what was done to it. And I know that had I had my kids by now, then I would have done the same thing. And especially had I not, gotten treatment, I would have ended up being the same thing. And so I think it just goes one to the next to the next. And so I had that BPD parent and I had that source of problem growing up. And indeed is the source of the trauma that I think causes the MPD that I have. More so than anything else. I think there's a whole mess of things going on in my head, to be honest. I think there's some highly sensitive person stuff. I think there's some ADHD as well, but that's by the by. And the first sort of year of my therapy was getting over all that stuff with that parent. And the in a nutshell conclusion I reached was that as I got better with BPD and I started to realize all of the pains and traumas and upsets that had caused my behavior and wanted to be able to move on from that and be forgiven for that behavior and all that sort of thing, I realized that that same pain and upset lived in that parent and caused them to behave in the same way that I was. And again, going back through generations. And once I could accept that, then it became impossible to hold on to that anger about it all. Because I wanted that forgiveness. If I expected that forgiveness from others, then I had to be prepared to give it too. And that level of understanding. And it became, when I reached that point, you sort of understand. And more than anything now, I wish I could do something to help with the pain that I think that person experiences. And I can't do anything. I can't do anything. They're you can't do that sort of thing. You need a therapist for that. Um, and as you say though, it is hard to find a therapist through the NHS. It really is. Oh, she's home. Oh no, nearly texted Jacob then. Anyway, sorry, this is really unprofessional. Whatever. Hi Isabel, how are you doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm gonna go all Larry David on you. It's the 12th. Are we a bit late for a new year now? How does that work? What's the time limit on the Happy New Year? January 12th. I can still we're on the cusp here. But Happy New Year. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Happy. Did you hear that bang? That was a bang, wasn't it? That kind of thing disturbs me. Yeah. Do you know what? This is the first live stream I've done this year, I think, Isabel. Um, where's the thingy that puts the things up? Oh, this is being slow again. Let me bear with me. Bear with me. Technical difficulties are afoot. Do you know what that banging is? I think that's like there we go. Now I can put things up. Yeah, this is my first live stream. It's not been, I don't know. I've been slow to get back into things this year. I really have. I'll do more. I'll do more. What's my TikTok handle? My TikTok handle is at early morning barking, I believe. Let us go over there. Did I break it? And we came back to me. Can we not go here? That's odd. Oh. Did it work? I don't know. What's it trying to... Is that on? There we go. Don't feel stupid. Why do you feel... Why do I feel stupid? Why? Anyway. Early morning barking. Sorry, I'm just... Yeah. This is the enhanced version with things on that I look at. But I like it. I like TikTok. And I feel like I've sort of cracked what does a good... What goes well on there and what doesn't. Which doesn't explain these two that did badly. But I knew they were going to. They were sort of confirmation ones after I'd done these ones. Like you sort of do them knowing they're going to do well now, which is a weird thing. I wish I could get YouTube Shorts to do the same thing. YouTube Shorts infuriate me. Look, this one is on its way to 500,000. So for this one's just past 250,000. That one was doing all right. It's all pretty good. Do you want to see some stats? Let's see some stats. Yeah, you could probably have guessed the handle. I'll be fair on that one. Let's do the last 28 days. So followers have shot up. That's been fun. Since December 20. Oh, that's good. Views are down because I've not been doing enough that did big views. It's fine at the moment. There's no monetization on here yet. That happens when I get to 10,000 followers. There they all are. This I cannot explain. Like what is this, please? Oh, Isabel, thank you. That's awesome of you. Thank you. I don't know if OBS pings a thing up when someone does that. Did it do a thing? I don't know. Thank you for the super chat there. Yeah, 92% female audience on TikTok. I don't know why. That's very odd. Do you want to compare some YouTube stats? We're off on one. Did someone want to talk? Hang on, Isabel had a more relevant point. I'm going to come back to this because I'm just rambling now because I'm here on my own tonight. Where are we? Where? Just camera. That's me. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to think there's something about me. I mean the stats might be more prevalent that BPD is more prevalent in women than in men. I don't know, but if we look at YouTube, Shall I? Do you want to see behind the curtain? Do you want to? Because I don't give a shit. Here we go. Hang on. Have a look at you. Let's have a look at YouTube stats. So this is how YouTube stats work. I'm at 2,437 followers, up 141 in the last 28 days, 10.4 thousand views, which is like in the last 28 days. If we pop back over to TikTok, in the last 28 days, 770,000 video views. You know, we're approaching well, that is 750,000 video views in the last 28 days. And that was when I did, that's still including those 28 days over Christmas when I did bugger all. And then you compare that same period to YouTube and it gets ridiculous. But let's see. See, and this is, it's not exactly like buying me a car anytime soon. Isabel, you're doing awesome things again. Thank you. But this is why we're here. Audience, let's have a look at you, shall we? Because, oh, I can look at things. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let's bring my mug in here. And move me because I'm in the way. Oh, shall we put me up there? Okay. Right. Audience. So videos, channels that your audience watches. These people. I thought Jacob would be on there. That's odd. Do we have age and gender? Right. It's much more 50-50 on YouTube. There you go. That's your gender split on YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty odd. Are you off, Grant? Thank you for watching, dude. It's been great chatting with you. I'll try and give more warnings over live shows in future, because this one's just been a bit of I didn't know I was doing this. I'm just going live. I appreciate you all turning up to watch, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it's much more 50-50 stats on YouTube. Isabel, what are you doing? You're being awesome. Thank you. That's probably about right. I imagine. I don't know. Yeah. It's there's delays on stats at the moment. Watch time. But boom, right, we can get some really interesting stuff going. So viewer no, okay. Content. What does well? The romantic obsession video is always the top viewed video. It always does better. It's always constantly doing better than every other video. And so your friend with BPD is split on you. Just those are the ones that do the best and just always have. But where are we on to? Traffic source, YouTube search. Is this why we were here? I've totally lost the plot now. Viewer age, yeah, 25 to 34 years. Much more even. What is that showing me? Oh, watch time by hours. Subscription status. So, yeah, this stays pretty... Oh, wow, I didn't know that was a thing. YouTube search, rarely content type. Cool, so that's YouTube stats, and this is live now. This is how this looks. With a preview and you guys and everything like that. There you go, but yeah, God, when you compare that to this, 770,000 views, which just staggers me. I need to get on and do a better TikTok. But a much weirder split. Much bigger proportion of British views. That was the other thing, isn't it? Geography. Where is everyone from? United States, 32%. United Kingdom, 16%. This is the tricky thing. Most of my audience is in the US. Or the greatest proportion of my audience is in the US on YouTube. That's you guys. But in TikTok, it's, yeah, much more British. It's an odd one. It's an odd one. I don't know. These are just the stats as they go, isn't it? Isn't it weird? And I also look at watches a lot. That's the thing. So, hang on. Right, bear with me. I'm not a pro streamer. I need a stream deck with the little box of buttons that you get. You know the thing? Anyway. Sorry, I'm going somewhere with this. I have lost control over my computer right now. Isabel asked something a while ago. What is the difference between a narcissist and a domestic offender? That's like the worst Christmas cracker joke of all time. I don't know. I don't know. All domestic offenders are narcissists, but not all narcissists domestic offenders. I don't know. Yeah, the MPD community online. I have very little communication with it. I know Jacob. That's it. He's great. You know, we can chat for hours. We were gonna do a live stream tonight. We're gonna do it next week instead now. Um, and that's when I just decided to start doing this. I needed to test my new internet for goodness sake. I couldn't put that off. I had to see what it like. It was like I could upstream in 8K if I wanted to. I'm not doing because you don't need this in 8K. This is fine. This is fine. You don't need this in 8K. But I could. I wish I could try that. I don't know if YouTube. Yeah, YouTube would probably let me. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in daydreaming about pointless stuff again, which I do so very often. So very often. It's been a weird daydreamy week, to be honest. I've been very self-centered and a bit narcissistic. I also tried giving up weed. Do any of us make enough money to afford an 8K screen? Not me. No, or the camera, or the computer to process it, or anything like that. It would be a fucking nightmare. I just, I could run Netflix off this thing. I couldn't, but nearly. It's amazing. What was I gonna say? I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. Let's read this. I just finished a great book by Lucy Bancroft. Why does he do that? It made me question a lot. There are certainly very few people who are DV abusers and actually have anything significant like PD. You know what? I always come back to the hurt people thing. Um, the impression I always got that domestic abusers generally would have a life that involved that, or one where that was seen as an option. I'm saying that as a total layman and ignorant of the subject. I have no real idea. It's just that's what I expect. Having done absolutely no research into it whatsoever. That's just me talking shit, really. It's kind of meaningless. Um, I don't think it absolves anyone of anything, though. I think it definitely requires a warped sense of right and wrong and so many other things, so many other problems. I don't know. It's such a terrifying thing. To be perfectly honest, I'm not anyone who's remotely qualified to talk about domestic violence. Not on any level. I am anti domestic violence. That's as far as I can go with it. I have no experience of it whatsoever. I cannot speak to it, and I have no knowledge about it. I have to stay in my lane very much, and I'm aware of what a narrow lane that actually is. I can talk about a couple of personality disorders from my own experience. It's very tricky. I was asked the other day, quite a reasonable question actually, saying why don't I talk about the differences in the way men and women experience BPD. And that would be a great video. That is a the differences between BPD and men and women. There's no way there hasn't been a number of theses written on that and books, and that's definitely a thing. But I don't know. I know how BPD presents in me, and anything beyond that is just stuff I've read. And me reading stuff is worth as much as anybody reading stuff. I am no way an authority on anything, so I'm just at some point repeating what I've read, and if I'm doing that, then people can do their own fucking reading. I'm interested in, and I don't know if this makes me shit. It's windy out there. I don't know how self-centered this makes me, but I'm interested in these things mainly as they pertain to me, and I've always tried to be very clear. I can only speak about stuff as it pertains to me. And that limits a lot. I guess, I mean, and again, this is something I think Jacob's really good at doing, is talking to other people and asking them. And I'm a bit shit at that. I'm not shit at it. I just don't do it. That's the difference. I have to allow myself that little bit of honesty there. Yeah, I'm not shit at it. I just don't do it. There's a difference. But I think that's the only way to do it is sort of just ask other people about it. I need to find a woman with BPD to come on my show who has a channel and that sort of thing and sort that out. How do you do it? How do you do your BPD? But even then, it's a one-to-one comparison. It's my BPD compared to her BPD, and that is not gonna hit the bigger subject of how does BPD present differently in men and women, which is a massive thing. You have to look at all the different ways in which BPD presents in men or women, and that's a complicated thing. And so you have to get both of those down and then start comparing and contrasting, and that's a study. That's a psychologist study, I think, which is probably being done. I'm kind of curious though. But then, having right, I've never been in a relationship with someone that I've known's had BPD, or that retrospectively I would accuse that of that. But I have met other BPD people, and some of those people were women. And it's I don't know of any ways that their problems were related to the fact that they were women in terms of the BPD. In terms of how those things presented. So I don't know. Because I can meet so many other middle-aged white men from the north of England with BPD who all experience it differently from me. So meeting a load of women who have BPD and asking them how they experience it would really mean nothing either. It's quite a complicated thing, isn't it? Isabel, you're awesome. As a BPD lesbian with another BPD lesbian, then we can have the perspective of two women with BPD. But still, then no men. We can all only do so much, can't we? I suppose we're all only one thing. So it's a complicated thing. God, how does it go differently? I don't know what the stats are, how they differ. I know that there are. Is it that women are less likely to be diagnosed with BPD than men, or the other way around? Hang on. Who is most likely to be diagnosed with BPD? No, that's what I want. Nearly 75%. Right, nearly 75% of people diagnosed with BPD are female. There you go, nearly 75%. So I don't know. Does that mean that women are far more likely to develop it, or does that mean that women are far more likely to be diagnosed? But that the information on what myclevelandclinic.org is saying it's 75% of people diagnosed with BPD are female. Hang on, we've got one here on Very Well Mind, the borderline personality disorder statistics. Prevalence. Right, this is from 2020, November 25th, so this is about 3 years old. In the United States, recent research has shown that 1.6% of the population has BPD. That's still a large number of people. About 75% of people diagnosed with BPD are women. That's a ratio of 3 to 1. Researchers don't know why there is this difference. It may be that women are more prone to BPD, women may be more likely to pursue treatment, or that there are gender biases when it comes to diagnosis. For instance, men with symptoms of BPD may be more likely to be misdiagnosed with another condition like PTSD or major depressive disorder. I was diagnosed as being depressed for like 20 years. I had depression, whatever that was. There was no working explanation for what was wrong with me. And it was just fucking horrible. Thank you for watching, Jade. We'll see you in a bit. Do I have ASPD traits? Not that I'm aware of. That would be a lot. Do I ever become malignant? Yes and no. Yes and no. Do I ever become a malignant narcissist? I think it. I feel it. Sometimes I say it, but I have trouble doing it. And that is because it's tempered by the BPD. I have too much guilt and too much empathy to really follow through on some of the dark, fucked up shit that comes out of my head. But it does come out in there sometimes. Especially when it's like someone's pissed me off or I'm angry about something or whatever. Some dark shit can come out. That's definitely in there. But it never does. It's never gonna be more than just it's noise. Right? It's just mental noise. I am too yeah, I couldn't hurt somebody. I couldn't conduct a campaign of terror against somebody. I couldn't all those things. Intentionally gaslight somebody. I don't have that in me. I just don't have it in me. I never have. It's never been a thing. Gosh, right, suicidality. I'm still on BPD stats here. 70% of people with BPD will make at least one suicide attempt in their lifetimes. 70%. Between 8 and 10% of people with BPD will complete suicide. It's not as easy as you would think. Don't do it. Why these rates are so high is currently unknown. Really? I could give you a fucking clue. Here we go. While 1.6% is the recorded percentage of people with BPD, the actual prevalence may be even higher. In a recent study, over 40% of people with BPD had been previously misdiagnosed with other disorders like bipolar or major depressive disorder. So as many as 20% of people with BPD have been found to have bipolar, making their diagnosis and treatment more complicated than treating one disease. Yeah, this is where we are. It's a complicated thing, and it's why I think it's why people are so hesitant to diagnose things officially, because there are so many wildcards. I have to look up ASPD traits. Um, I really don't think I have any of these. Yeah, it's exploit, manipulate, or violate the rights of others, lack concern, regret, or remorse about other people's distress, behave irresponsibly and show disregard for normal social behavior, have difficulty sustaining long term relationships, be unable to control their anger, lack guilt or not learn from their mistakes, blame others for problems in their lives, repeatedly break the law. No. No, not really. No, that's not me. None of those things. It's never been a. Oh, here we go. Those were right. Those weren't the criteria. Here are the criteria. And you're right. To be diagnosed with an antisocial personality disorder, a person will usually have a history of conduct personality disorder before the age of 15. And the markers are repeatedly breaking the law, repeatedly being deceitful, being impulsive or incapable of planning ahead. No, I'm not. Being irritable and aggressive. Not to the yeah. The, I think we have to be careful. Some of these are fall into that. Well, doesn't everybody get irritable and aggressive? Yeah, but these people will get really irritable and aggressive. Having a reckless disregard for their safety or the safety of others, being consistently irresponsible, lack of remorse. No ASPD traits here. No, not here, not in this house, I'm afraid. Which I'm very glad about. That does not sound like a happy life. That does not sound like a happy thing to have to live with, to say the very least. It sounds fucking depressing. Um, but it is what it is. It's, yeah, I hope those people can get help. Well then. How have we been doing here? Are we good? Look, I've just figured out I can. What happens when I do this? Excuse me in the chat. I might. Don't know what this will do. Oh, let me take that thing down as well. Oh, I can pin a thing. Right, sorry about that. I was just playing with settings. Can I take that down? I don't really want to. There we go. I've got some stickers coming. I need to push my merch some more. I just think it's really expensive. That's the problem. Um, I don't mind if you guys don't buy them. It's one of those things. Uh, anyway, right. I'm gonna shuffle off. All right. No. What are your plans for your channel this year? Okay. What are my plans for my channel this year? Fuck. Well, glad you asked. Let me just put some heat on. Glad you asked. What are my plans for the channel this year? Um, more videos. Seems silly, but yeah, more videos. More TikToks, that sort of thing. More podcasts. I actually don't know about any major changes I had planned. I had this stuff I want to do. I had right. I don't know if you'll have seen it. I did a TikTok talking about how I know BPD is bad because there are so many elements of it that involve things I'm not allowed to talk about on videos. Right? So certainly it seems the case on TikTok if you talk about drugs or alcohol or various sexual things or whatever, then your account's gonna start to struggle one way or another. And suicidal ideation and all these things. These are very frowned upon topics in the online video world, which makes discussing them really difficult. Um, and so what I want to do, because they're such big things to miss out, and things I can talk about. And so I'm gonna start doing more videos along those lines on Patreon and for members videos because I can't really put them out on the mainstream sorts of things. So there's actually going to be. I'm planning on doing many more videos for the supporters. That are going to start covering this. Not always heavier, but shall we say spicier stuff. You know, there's a lot I want to talk about. There's a lot I can talk about. There's a lot we miss. Um, and there's a lot that goes unsaid about BPD. The hypersexuality stuff in particular, all of that stuff. Um, because that affects us all massively. Some more than others, of course, but each of us a lot. And it rarely gets talked about. And so I kind of want to cover a lot more of that stuff. But other than that, and I want to do more course videos. I am so behind on those. I really want to get a lot more of those done. Those are important to do, and I've been slow. It's been a slow few months, like I say. And it's yeah, I need to get cracking with them. So that's really the plans. It's not much in terms of change. I'd like to do some. I'd love to do some collaboration videos. I have no idea who to do them with because I don't watch other YouTubers on BPD or MPD, so I don't know. Um, but you know, if you have any suggestions, shout them out or whatever. I'm fine with that. But that's pretty much it. That's the thing. That's there. Those be the plans. Weird noises outside. Very windy night. Anyway, people of the live stream, thank you. Thank you so much for watching and being with me all this time. And thank you for helping me test my new internet. I really appreciate it. And Isabel, thank you for your super chats. You were amazing and awesome. And so are the rest of you. Thank you so much for watching. I need to. Well, every time I do this, I feel like I've got to get a Twitch channel set up for doing impromptu live streams, but this is fine. It always works out okay. Hi, Grant, as well. Thank you for watching. So I'll be back another time. Go and check out my videos, etc. Go and follow me on TikTok and like and subscribe and blah 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 blah. All of the stuff I'm supposed to say. So you take care. I'll see you later. Bye.